Joining us this morning is Sheriff Steve Prator, Caddo Parish Sheriff. Good morning to you, Sheriff.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm all right. I listened to some of the mayor's comments yesterday during the work session where she said we erred in not sending someone to the meeting that parish commissioners called to talk about crime fighting. But then she also said, we're working on a plan. My people and your people have already sat down several times and are putting a plan together. Accurate?
Well, my chief deputy and the assistant chief in Shreveport sat down and talked about it, and what Shreveport thought would be the best thing to do would be for us and Caddo to take over someplace possibly the inner loop south or something like that, out possibly Ellerby Roadway or something, and not actually police in the inner city. And that should free up maybe an officer. Sometimes they have an officer that is out there. Sometimes the officer gets called into the city, to the inner city.
Whoa! Free up one officer? Is that what you just said?
Yeah, probably so. Yeah.
Okay, that doesn't sound like a plan to me. What's the real plan? What does it need to be?
Well, the thing, it's gotten to be so we got to put politics and personalities and egos and everything else aside, and we got to realize that the safety of the public is the most important thing. As the chief law enforcement officer of the parish, that means that I can do a lot of things, and I have authority to go inside the city and investigate things and do whatever. However, we don't have the manpower to take over or go in, just swarm in with our patrol division. Our patrol division is about the size of one shift of the Shreveport Police Department. Plus, you have to have total coordination when you go in and start working and hitting street corners and things like that. We already have our narcotics unit that hits street corners along with the Shreveport Police, but they've been doing that for a long time. I guess what I'm saying is it's not – I've got my feelings about what could be done and some different things and all that, but we have to realize that Chief Crump has the authority to do what he thinks is necessary. The mayor has appointed him, and they have the authority to do what's right in there. They can't tell us to stay out, but we can't really go to the party without an invitation and be effective. And we don't have the power. We have the authority to do it, but we don't have the manpower to do it.
Okay, let's pretend like let's pretend like we're not on the radio right now. Just pretend like you and me are having a beer at Superior, and you were police chief before. You know what's going on down there. They give you a magic wand and say, "Fix this." What you gonna do?
Well, that's and I would, I'm quick to say what's on my mind, and I was almost quick to say what the answer would be there that I would do. But out of respect for Chief Crump, it's not fair to look over his shoulder and say what I would do if I was in his spot. That's putting too much on him. The mayor has appointed him and said, "You're my police chief. I want you to be effective and do it whatever style you think." And so out of respect, I don't want to come in and start saying what I would do. I would do things differently. People know my style and what I say after watching me for 20 years as a leader. But we gotta be, we can't be like social media and start, chewing everybody's arms off and legs and things and that's a decision the mayor has made. That's a decision that Chief Crump has made in the way that they're going to allocate their people and the philosophy of the Shreveport Police Department. It's not my place to say anything differently. And realistically, that's just where we are.
Sheriff, out of the parish, because you have the entire parish to take care of. Your people handle the business. People don't usually act stupid when the Caddo Sheriff's Department arrives, because they know that your people are going to do something. You're not holding their hands back. I'm critical of the rules of engagement, that it seems to me that a lot of the officers don't think that they can go out and be proactive, that they can be self-initiating. Could you do that with the peripheral area that's probably not being covered that much anyway?
The plan was and was going to be funded by the Caddo Parish Commission. They were going to pay the overtime, and I've told them, quite frankly, you're wasting your money. I'll take your money and we'll hire people overtime and work it, but that's a waste of government resources and taxpayer money to do that, because we're not affecting violent crime. We're policing an area that doesn't normally get very much policing, and there's not a lot of demands for service there. And so the Shreveport Police Department is you got to understand, the men and women there, it's a great organization, and they're trying, they're trying hard, and they're very capable, and they're a good organization, and they don't deserve anybody to say that they're not trying their best. It's just other things and other things that we have to respect at the decision of the mayor and the police chief.
Another meeting, is it planned to talk about funding? Where do we go from here?
Well, I don't really know where we go from here. That's up to the kind of help the Shreveport Police Department. Chief Crump will say, this is the kind of help that I think would be effective, and then I'll have my say about what I think would be effective, and then it'll be up to him to decide how the philosophy and the tactics of the Shreveport Police Department, and that's the way the law reads, and that's just the way it is.
You've told us previously that if you were the chief right now, and I know you may not want to say this again today, but you said you would have everybody off of desks and put more cops on the roads. Have you offered that advice to the chief?
No, ma'am. That's basic police 101, and I'm sure the chief is. The chief is got his people assigned where the chief wants them. And like I say, I don't want to be like I'm on a Facebook page or tweeting and being hypercritical of what somebody else chooses to do. That's his right to do it, and we got to work within the parameters of doing that. And I don't necessarily agree with everything, but that's not my job to run the Shreveport Police Department. It's not my job to agree. It's my job to keep the citizens outside the municipalities safe, and to do what I can inside the municipalities with the resources that I have, and that's what we're doing. I'm proud of the crime rate outside the city, and I'm proud of the men and women of the Caddo Parish Sheriff's Office.
Well, I'm sure we will be in touch with you in the future with regard to this. Again, the mayor said something about it being politically motivated, etc. You mentioned that today. We need to get all the politics out of it.
Yeah, we really do. One thing you say, I'm not politically motivated. I got the job I've always wanted, and I'm not going anywhere. And so you're right. We need to realize that this isn't social media. This is bullets we're talking about, and we need to treat it in the same seriousness that it is. And
children being killed.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Right.
Sheriff Steve Prator, thanks so much for your time this morning.
All right.
Take care.